Good morning, Earthlings. Good morning, everyone. Aaron here, aka AJ, aka Papa. It is January 15th, 2020, and I am back with another vlog to feast your eyes and ears indubitably upon my delicious gobs of good graciousness. Morning came so early today, my friends. I feel like I just laid my head down and all of a sudden my alarm went off. And as much as I would love to lay back down, I've got things to do today, and so let's get it popping, shall we? So yesterday I spent so much time reading in Uncle Silas by Le Fanu. It is getting so good, and I doubt any of you guys will probably actually read the book, but in case you do, I will not spoil much, but it's getting really good. Some interesting things have befell this poor young lady who is the purveyor of the story, and now she's in a really interesting situation. And the interesting situation that she is in is that she is now to go and live and stay with the Uncle Silas that has been kind of the subject matter, the mystery of the story so far. And we know little about him, but what we do know is a little bit mysterious, and that also he may be a little crazy. So it's gonna be a good read. I've been obsessed with the book right now, so I've been reading every extra opportunity I have, which is a good sign of excellent writing, my friend Le Fanu. I also should mention that the other day our upstairs neighbors moved out of the apartment, and so today maintenance and the people from the office are upstairs kind of checking things out, assessing things that need to be repaired and such to prepare it for new tenants. And so there's a lot of movement up there. In the last clip I was watching back, and I was like, oh my gosh, you can hear all the creaking and stomping and stuff. So that's what that was. We don't have ghosts, or I hope not. In other news, I'm still having a fair amount of body pain, and I know that I have significant misalignments in my back, and I know that my current bed, which is still really new, is not helping the situation, but there's not a lot I can do about that right now, which is fine, other than just continue to work out and hope that over time the strength in my core will help support my back in a much better way. I keep doing the yoga every night and getting it done, and I've been faithful on it, and I just believe it will help me over time. So I'm looking forward to a day where I'm stronger and these body issues won't be such an issue. With that being said, last night was the first night in a while where I was doing the yoga and I felt pretty strong. Some of the motions that you go through require a good amount of arm strength, which I didn't have a ton of, and a lot of core strength. And I've noticed that before, when I was doing a lot of these movements, I was kind of flopping about and kind of like having to exhaust the muscle to its full extent. And now I'm able to do a lot of these motions without having to struggle in such a manner. It's interesting how quickly the body rebounds and becomes stronger. So I'm happy for that. I have noticed that my clothes are fitting a little bit differently, although I don't know that I've lost any weight per se, but I just feel better and I feel more comfy in my body. And that's without making any significant changes to the diet, other than the fact that I haven't been eating out. We haven't been eating out barely at all. So that's made a huge difference when you make home cooked meals. So I'm happy for that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that ever since Gandhi got all up in my grill, I have played, my piano every day, and I've worked on some music in some way, shape, or form every day since, and I've been trying to put some clips of that stuff in the videos. Not so that you guys believe that I'm doing it, but just more so as kind of like some accountability. But I don't know that I'll continue doing that, because in order for me to do it in the way that I edit things, it's really difficult for me to leave in those clips without having the background music. It requires that I export and flip-flop things around and do extra work that's not always going to be that's going to require time that I'm not always going to have. So I will do my best to throw some music in there for you guys whenever I can, but just know it may not be a daily thing. In other news, I have been listening to an artist that I've been aware of for a little while, but I never really kind of like spent any time looking into her. But her name's Kimbra, Kimbra, and she was in the Gautier song, somebody that I used to know like a while ago. But she never really kind of took off after that. And honestly, that song, somebody that I used to know, in that the vocal requirements for that song didn't show really anything in the way of what her actual ability is. She's a really cool artist. She uses that loop pedal to make her tracks, and then she sings over the top of them, which I think is always so neat when artists do that. But yeah, if you haven't listened to her, check her out. She's a cool artist. She's got a unique sound, and her tracks are a lot of fun. They're huge tracks with, like good motion to them. It's a lot of fun to listen to. Anyways, then quote of the day. Let's get to it, shall we? Quote of the day comes from Iyanla Vanzant, who is a inspirational speaker and author. She grew to popularity with a book called One Day My Soul Just Opened Up, and she's written a ton of books, actually, tons of in that self-help realm, but they tend to deal with like relationships and kind of like dealing with past trauma and such. If you've not read anything by her, definitely check her out. She is a really cool perspective on life and on how to deal with specific types of relationships. And the quote goes a little bit like this: "The only way to get what you really want is to let go of what you don't want." Now, again, like most times, I'm going to explain this in a way that pertains to just like a psychological aspect and then also to a metaphysical aspect. And we're going to try to do it in a pretty quick way. The psychological aspect, it makes sense, right? In order for you to get the things that you want in your life, to manifest the relationships in your life, to breed a better mental health state of mind and all of these things, it's important that you let go of things in your past that keep you from achieving those things, right? So, for instance, if you have past trauma that you're holding on to, all of your behaviors are going to come from that past trauma. They're all going to be tinted with the trauma of your past. And until you can let go of that past, forgive those who have harmed you, forgive wrongs that you have done, forgive the situation and move on from it, you will always behave in a manner that responds to the trauma that you have lived in your past situation. Metaphysically, when we talk about letting go of things in order to make room for new, it's always important to remember that whenever we want something in life, we have to respect the flow of energy. And so in order for you to open up a pathway for things to flow into your life, you have to open the pathway all the way through. So there has to be a flow in and a flow out. And a lot of times we get stuck hoarding things and then wonder why new things or new situations or new people don't come into our life. And it's because we are stuck latching on to and fearing the loss of things that we currently have in our life. And whenever we fear that loss, or whenever we latch onto things and say, if I let it go, I'll have nothing, then we stifle the flow of energy and keep things from manifesting in our life. And again, guys, I want to apologize for the noise upstairs. There's really not anything I can do about it, so let's just power through. We talk about, having new situations in your life, or finding new relationships in your life, or better situations. I always talk about creating space. Now, in order for you to manifest into your life, or just to have these things come into your life, it's important to remember that you have to create a space for those things to be. And if those spaces are completely clogged up with old things, or with bad behaviors, or with past trauma, it's impossible for those things to move into your life. If there's no space for them, they simply won't come. That person who's hung up on that old relationship, that toxic relationship, that abusive relationship, it's really hard for them to manifest or even conceive having a new relationship in their life until they get rid of that past trauma, forgive the past, and move on from it. Likewise, it's difficult to accumulate new things if all of the space that you have for things is filled with things already. And a lot of times we will see when this kind of overflow of stuff happens in the physical realm, you can be sure that there is an overflow or an accumulation of past trauma or things in the past that the person has not let go of within themselves. Your charge for today: take a look at your current situation. What things in your life do you have that are only indicators of the distant past? What do you hang on to that you don't need now that is stifling your growth moving forward? Now, when I ask this question, I'm asking you to not only, evaluate the physical things in your life, the current physical objects that you have in your life, but also your emotional state of mind. What things do you carry within yourself that you don't need anymore, that do not benefit you moving forward? If you can evaluate your current situation and realize that there's an accumulation of things that are only indicators of past trauma or past situations or past relationships or things that do not suit you moving forward, it may be that those things are keeping you from accumulating or receiving or attracting new things in your life that do serve your purpose moving forward. This would be what I tell you today. If you have those things in your life that serve you no longer, that are stifling your growth, that are clogging your flow, today make an effort to get those things moved out of your life. And if it is an emotional thing and it's not something that you can talk yourself through on your own, find a well-meaning friend that can help, that can, speak to you or just listen about the things in your life that you wish to change. And if it's something of significance, guys, find a therapist or a counselor to help you work through all of these emotions, because it really is important to ask for help and to find qualified help when the situation warrants it. Something as simple as cleaning out your closets, and getting rid of things that are just laying around that you don't need anymore can be really powerful in the way of opening up the flow of energy again and allowing for things to become more fluid. If we're clogged up and our energy is not flowing anymore, or if we're clogged up and our emotional state of mind is not allowing us to process things anymore, we will find quite often that just taking steps in the way of, unclogging your life or clearing out your surroundings can make a significant difference in your state of mind when it comes to mental health. And it also makes a significant difference in just the flow of energy in your life. So look into it, guys. Look around today, take stock, take an internal, inventory of your emotional state of mind, and also a physical inventory of the physical things around you. Because remember, the only way for you to get what you want is for you to let go of what you don't want. Iyanla Vanzant knows it well, and she wrote books on it, and there is such a freeing feeling waiting for you on the other end of unclogging the flow and clearing out space and making space for what it is that you really do want. Because I can tell you guys, the sooner that you create the space, the sooner the things that you want will manifest in your life. It happens every single time. I love you guys very much, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye. Hey guys, I am all freshly showered and feeling so lovely. I am on my way to go work at the bookstore from 12 to 4, and then I will be delivering this evening. But I just wanted to say a goodbye because I won't probably do any more vlogging today, only because my vlog's already so long. It's so hard for me to get everything said that I want to say in such a short amount of time. But anyway, guys, I love you very much. I hope that you're doing well, and you have yourself a great rest of the day. Don't forget what we talked about. get rid of some of those things so you can make room for new. I love you guys very much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.